This is my last day in Malta, as tomorrow I fly back home. I feel sad that I have to leave, but I will not let this drag me down. So I'm planning my last day to the full. Hello again.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. Beautiful weather today.
Yeah, where are we going? After last trip we did the Pippo. What
Yes.
are we doing today?
Last time we went over here, so just outside Adira Bay. Today we're going a little bit further, closer to St. Paul's Islands, on a wreck called the Imperial Eagle.
Okay.
And there's also the statue of Christ close by to the wreck. A very interesting dive site.
Okay.
It's around 20-25 meters here, and the bottom of the wreck here is at 42.
Okay, amazing.
But the nice thing of this dive site is that we get a combination of wreck and reef.
Okay, and we're going by boat again.
Both, same jetty like last time.
Okay,
We'll take night rocks again.
perfect.
I'll be diving with you, and it's gonna have some fun.
Perfect, sounds good. Let's go.
The Imperial Eagle wreck is the last dive of my holiday diving around the Maltese islands. Before departure by boat, Simon delivers his short briefing. Reaching the dive site from St. Paul's Bay is going to be quick. The good thing about diving the Maltese islands is that all dive sites are so close. Less time spent traveling means more time in hand to do other things.
The Imperial Eagle wreck dive site is only accessible by boat off our point. Due to its vicinity, it is a very popular dive site. Also, one can dive both the wreck and also the reef and the tunnels which one can find on this dive site. It's also suitable for different levels, since the depth of the reef and the wreck vary.
With the boat tied to the special marker buoy, getting to the wreck is very easy. Once we reach the wreck, amberjacks quickly come to greet us.
The Imperial Eagle is 45 meters in length. Is sitting at a depth of 42 meters on the sand and has been scuttled purposely as a diving attraction in 1999.
Diving around and going through the corridors of this wreck was wonderful. Even better was when we were surrounded by various species of fish. The fish must have found this wreck a 5-star accommodation.
The Imperial Eagle, being scuttled in 1999, has suffered a lot of deterioration due to weather conditions and rough weather. Its hull material, being of steel and wood, hasn't helped. Most of the wood has now deteriorated, so you've got like an empty hull skeleton with some spikes and bones around. A lot of the side top railings are falling off. The top wheelhouse is on its side. It is showing its signs of age. But having said this, it is still a fantastic dive site.
Wrecks are never permanent structures. Some survive the ravages of time and rough weather better than others, but at the end they do all deteriorate.
Being the first boat at this dive site early in the morning, one can appreciate the marine life that can be found on the Imperial Eagle. It is very funny that the fish tend to prefer being on the Imperial Eagle, on the artificial reef, rather than on the natural reef.
This is a dive which one must stick closely to the planned dive time, as decompression stops accumulate very fast. Once we filmed most parts of the wreck, Simon led us away from the wreck towards the second underwater attraction found at this dive site.
Leaving the wreck with the bow towards your back, one will find a nice sheltered cove. In the sheltered cove, there's an imposing 3-meter Jesus Christ statue.
The statue of Cristo el Bahar, as it is known by local divers, is quite unique, as it is the only statue that I know of that was blessed by Pope John Paul in May 1990 before it was lowered underwater. With my last dive around Malta logged in my diving book, I'm looking forward now to my last sightseeing tour, which will be around the famous 3 cities, otherwise known as Senglea, Birgu and Cospicua. Both history lovers and sun worshippers will find a lot to admire about these localities known as the 3 cities, with their wide open seafront and narrow winding side streets. Today I'm visiting the oldest of the 3 cities known as Birgu. Birgu's ideal position has always offered safe anchorage, leaving it with a long and rich maritime, mercantile and military history. The best place to get a glance into the city's many cultural riches is by taking a trip to the Malta Maritime Museum, which houses over 20,000 artifacts relating to Malta's maritime past. Located along Birgu's scenic waterfront, the building alone, which was Malta's old naval bakery, is also a treasure in itself. Under its roof, one can walk among the archipelago's most awe-inspiring maritime discoveries, which date all the way from prehistory to the present day. Be sure not to miss the museum's many star attractions, including a meticulously constructed model ship belonging to the Order of St. John, a unique collection of over 60 traditional Maltese boats, and the largest known Roman lead anchor in the world. If you were with us in the capital city of Valletta just a little while ago, you might recognize this structure as one of the most impressive views at the center of Malta's Grand Harbour. Originally a castle, the structure now known as Fort St. Angelo has stood atop the tip of the Birgu Peninsula since at least the Middle Ages. From its beginnings as a robust seaside castle which secured the coastal settlements from the common threat of corsairs, the structure eventually passed to the Order of St. John. Always abreast with the latest military technology, the Knights of the Order remodeled the castle's medieval structure and paved the way for Malta's famous bastion system of defence. As the years rolled by, the fortification never lost its strategic worth, undergoing centuries of modification, including major upgrades by the British, who relocated their Royal Navy's command hub to the fort in 1906. Having suffered extensive damage during World War II, this historical treasure finally underwent a well-deserved restoration in 2015. Malta's unique heritage spans both sea and land. Typical to the islands is a soft yellow stone called limestone, which is used in most buildings past and present. At the Limestone Heritage Park and Gardens, on the outskirts of the quiet rural town of Sigiwi, families and friends gather to explore the local history, culture and folklore. The young and the young at heart would surely enjoy an evening out dining al fresco in a typical razzette or farmhouse, where furry friends await and folklore nights capture traditional rituals from the island's past. It's an enchanting experience where music, song, traditional folk dances, and stone sculpting demonstrations bring Malta's old soul back to life. And summer is an especially lively time of the year, with folklore nights that paint a picture of the island's eclectic history thanks to good food, sprightly entertainment, and great company under the stars. This brings me to the end of my stay in Malta. But before I leave for home, I needed to pop in to say goodbye to Simon and to find out what other dive sites I've missed closer to his dive centre. Thank you so much for the Imperial Eagle. I think that was one of my favourite dives I've done so far. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, being on the boat is really comfortable and convenient. I wanted to ask though about a dive we can do without using the boat. There's a tug right here, right? There's a wreck, is that right?
Yes, the tug 2.
Okay.
The tug 2 goes a long way with me
Okay.
because I was actively participating in the scuttling of this wreck.
Okay.
So literally I was on it the first person once it went down.
Amazing.
I have some really cool footage from there because we had stuck some GoPros on it as it's going down.
That's really cool.
It's a nice dive site. It's not far off from here. It's maybe a 15-minute swim on a reef,
Okay.
which goes down gradually from 5 meters to slowly 18 on the sand. She shifted. Well, 2 years ago I had a very big storm, and she was a little bit further out on the sand. Now her bow is literally inside the reef.
Okay.
Fish life is really good, all the way along
guess
the
all the
reef
reef.
onto the wreck.
Okay. Yeah.
And its depth makes it very interesting for any level of diver to go to.
Okay.
Also, being centered here in Slima avoids you also the long distances
Yes,
to
of
travel
course.
around.
Of course.
Yeah,
Okay.
nice dive site. Today we will be taking our friend, the iBubble. This is an autonomous drone, underwater drone, and it will be following us. A bit weird seeing
Yeah.
a non-human chasing us around. I'll be giving it some instructions to do some 360s around us or stay on our side.
Okay. And then will it be filming us?
Yes, it will be filming us all the dive. So this will be a fantastic souvenir for you to take
Yes,
back home.
definitely, definitely. I wanted to ask about another wreck that I heard was quite close to here as well, but I guess we do need to go out on the boat with it. It's the Bowfighter, is that
Yes,
right?
the Bullfighter is one of the favorites. Literally, it's 5 minutes out with the boat from here.
Okay.
It's a World War II aeroplane, bomber, Bristol Bullfighter. She's upside down, so her undercarriage, her wheels are looking up.
Okay.
Prop is still there. Getting a little bit deteriorated now, but the really nice thing is that it really stands out because it's on sand, on white sand. So as you're going down, you're going to see the whole skeleton of the wreck. Usually we don't go in big groups on this dive because the plane is not very big. But once we're on it, look inside on the engine and around because you'll find the moray, the scorpion fish, a John Dory running around. There's always some
Okay, little
interesting-
hidden.
Yes, that
hidden
won't
life.
be obvious at first,
Okay.
but they're there. Again, this dive, ideally we do on nitrox, which sits in 36 meters, so like that we can get a little bit more bottom time. Around the wreck isn't much, so it's sand and a bit of Posidonia far away. So the interesting part is the
It's
wreck.
a wreck. And it's accessed by boat, is that
Yes,
right?
we'll be going by boat. There isn't a mooring on this wreck, so
Okay.
the boat will put a shot line, and we'll go up and down on that.
Okay.
Important is that we stay close to this line,
Yeah.
because over here there's a lot of boat traffic.
Okay.
But Yeah, fantastic dive. We could do that with the boat and then second dive just here on the house reef with the beautiful.
That's great, and it's quite interesting to have a different perspective with the plane being upside down.
Yes. It is, our clients love this dive site. It's very interesting.
Well, I need to book a day of doing the wrecks just around here then, instead of going to the other side of the island. I finally wanted to ask you about the Hellespont.
Hellespont.
I don't know much about it. Yes, I'm seeing all the names coming up, but I want to know more.
I mean, previously these dive sites weren't so popular. Now dive centers have invested in their boats and captains and GPSs, so it's a little bit easier to find them, you know. The Hellespont is just outside the Grand Harbour to the right. It isn't in the shipping lane, so it's safe.
Yeah.
She sits on 42 meters.
Okay.
Close to a dumping ground from the World War II. There's lots of rubble around it. She's a paddle steamer, which makes it one of a kind. It's the only paddle steamer wreck in Malta.
Okay.
Triple expansion engine, very interesting engine.
Okay.
You can still see the shafts on the side. Obviously, the paddles have long gone. And the stern of the wreck. The bow is a little bit crushed. There's a big boiler adjacent to it on the sand.
Okay.
You can penetrate slightly in it. I mean, this wreck had sunk in the Grand Harbour.
Okay.
And then they moved it out and dumped it over there.
Okay.
So it took a while for historians to actually find it because there wasn't an exact location where they then discarded it.
Okay.
Again, a favorite, not too far off, 10-minute boat ride. Same system
deep.
with a shot line. Not too deep, so still within the recreational limit.
Okay.
With night rocks,
Definitely,
so you get some decent bottom time on it. And it's got history to it. So that makes it even more interesting. So it is an original wreck from the war.
Does the Grand Harbour in that area have much marine life though?
No, this is outside the Grand Harbour.
So is
where
there
it
still...
sunk was in the Grand Harbour.
So is there still
the
marine
area
life?
it's in, the marine life is very good. So
I would have thought with the boat traffic and the ship traffic that it would be a bit less, but that's interesting.
it is quite a fished area.
Yeah.
But still, the wreck itself, since it's quite of a big wreck, you get the interesting marine life that lives inside. So the big morays, especially there's one who's always there in the shaft. We're ready to say hello, you know, when you go down there. Very nice wreck, very nice wreck.
Well, I can do all of these, so I think I need to book the house wrecks and then move on from there. Thank you very much. I can't wait.
See you soon.
See you soon.
With this information, and what other information I received from the other diving instructors I dove with, I shall be planning my next year's diving holiday on the Maltese Islands. It's been an absolutely packed holiday. I've managed to see some of the most beautiful sights that the Maltese Islands have to offer, as well as some of their most fascinating natural and historical wonders. It's been a holiday that's not easy to forget, more so that the people are extremely friendly and practically everyone speaks English as their second language. With international travel back online, I will definitely return to Malta to meet both old and new friends, and for more diving adventures, perhaps even to deeper dive sites next time.